Hello, I'm Diane. Welcome to my channel, Diane in Stitches, which as you may gather is all about sewing. So this week what I'm going to be discussing is some makes that I've made this week, something that's in progress, future plans, and there's a little bit of a pattern haul and a fabric haul to be discussed. So first of all I'll discuss what I'm wearing, which is also the make for this week that I've completed, and this is the Pattern Emporium BUT and also the Pattern Emporium Urban Pants. Both are stretch fabrics, and I've made it as a little bit of a co-ord lounge outfit, just for lounging around the house and hopefully being a little bit warm. Now I'll talk about the top first. I made both of them. I've made a size 12. The top, I have in the past done size 10s, but the last Keep It Simple t-shirt that I did from Pattern Emporium was, I made a size 10 and I felt it was a little bit snug. Now this is a different cut, so this is more of a looser fit. But I thought, well, I'll go with a 12 just to see how it goes, and it's fine. And I did my lengthening of this area to bring the armpit and the bust point down, even though there's no bust point actually marked on the pattern. So, but it does in effect bring the bust point down. The only thing I'm not entirely convinced with is this cowl neck. And now someone on the Facebook page did comment on it the other day, and she'd done it, and they've said, oh, because it's a more stretchy fabric, it's probably the neckline's stretched out. But this is just a normal cotton jersey. It's not too floppy. But they do say if you have got a more drapey fabric, to double the height of this neck. The other option is there's a funnel neck option, which obviously is quite tall and would give more of a drape. But I just think this is a little bit strange. But they say that there's a picture on the testers when they brought out the pattern. There's a picture on, I'll put it up here, which if I'd seen that, I probably would have thought, not bothered about the cowl neck. I don't think that looks very nice at all. But I saw it the other day and I thought, no, that just looks very, very strange. And this other lady obviously had the same thoughts about it, but it just seems too wide here. The thing with Pattern Emporium, what she does is, if you've got a crew neck, you've got one height of back neck as well. As soon as she brings like a low scoop, the back alters as well, and so you get lower back, and it comes further out here, which I think I must try and look at a way of, there's probably a way that I could just curve it back up differently to the back neck, the normal height back neck. But I just found this a little bit strange. I've tried to position it as best I can. The trousers are fine. I'll put a picture up of when I made, well, I just put them on yesterday for the first time after just trying them on when I made them, finished them a few days ago. And the trousers fit lovely. And they were quite a really good fit around the waist, and I thought, great, that's fine. But having put them on today, it does seem they've sort of gone a little bit. The waistband has sort of stretched a little bit. I don't know if it's the round the hip. As I say, I think with this one specifically, I could have done with sizing down on the size chart. I've sort of put myself in the 12 for the bottoms on Pattern Emporium, because my hips are proportionally bigger than the rest of me, and I sort of put myself in a 12. But I did this last year with they were woven, there was cocoa pants, and I made a 12, and they just looked, I just didn't like them at all. But looking at the sizes now, I've actually re-measured myself. I knew I'd lost a little bit or an inch or two somewhere. And so looking at the sizes now, I think I do actually fit into a 10. And as I say, I don't know whether it's this particular Ponte that's just stretched out. I don't know, because it's the first time I've used Ponte. I don't know whether that's what it normally does. I mean, I know stretch fabrics do give a bit after a while, but anyway, they're okay for hanging around the house in. And let's say I did there's 3 legs on the Urban. There's a wide leg, a flared leg, and the tapered. And I was going to do the wide leg, and I thought, actually looking at the pattern piece, that it was going to be a bit too wide, so I did the tapered leg. I'm quite happy with the tapered leg. They're not tight fitting at all around the ankle or anything, so I got them right. So as I say, I think all I need to do is do a 10, and maybe I might do a 10 in this one. It's just to keep it simple that I think the 10 was a little bit on the snug side. But anyway, it's all done, and I might give this cowl a miss next time and probably do the funnel neck, or extend it, or just leave it as a plain crew neck and just make do with that. But anyway, it's fine. So I'm in the process still of t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and I've moved on. Coming on the neck, it's cut out, but I've had a bit of a mixed week this week. I didn't feel so great with a migraine on Thursday, I think it was, and then Friday I had other things to sort out, so I haven't really got very far. I've cut it out. So it's the red cotton lycra, and then I've got the black still there to decide. I don't know whether to do the keep. This is a keep it simple. And it's a 12, because as I said, the previous one I did felt a little bit tight, and I've lengthened this area here on the pattern, so that shouldn't take long to get sewn up. So that's the long sleeve one. I'm just doing the plain. I'm not doing a cuff on the bottom like this one. I'm just doing a plain hemmed bottom. And talking of hems, I used my cover stitch for the hems on this, on the legs of the trousers and there, and that did a nice job. A wide cover stitch. You can see I've devised how to keep it just sort of, because I didn't want to lift it on and off the table because it's so heavy. So I've just turned that sideways, and then when I used it the other day to do the hems, I just moved the overlocker over into that corner in front of the sewing machine, and then just swiveled it round. It's plugged in and just changed foot pedals, and so that seems to work. It works okay. Anyway, so as I say, moving forward, it's the keep it simple t-shirt, and then probably the one in the black cotton lycra. I may do the keep it simple, or I may do one of these but with a crew neck. I haven't decided on that yet. But I also do want to do, I realised I had some plans in last month, I think, to do the all-in shirt by Pattern Emporium in a viscose that I bought from First for Fabrics. I bought 2 lots actually, a cream and a white. So I've got that out. To hopefully get that, because I need to trace that pattern as well. So that's just a cream. It's sort of like got a little bit of a slub weave on it. Needs iron. It's overlocked and washed. It just needs ironing. But I've also decided I want another Donny shirt, long sleeve Donny shirt. So I've fished out some fabric I got from Sherwood's Fabrics earlier this year, when they had a sale on. It was a 50% sale that they had on. So that's just a viscose. So we'll see. It's quite a drapey viscose, soft. So we'll see what the Donny shirt comes out in that. So hopefully, I don't know how much of this I'm going to get done with the rest of the month, but anyway. So I've decided a 4-hour do in November. I wanted to make a dress. So I was on the hunt for some fabric, which I'll show you later. And I got a choice of 3 dresses, but I've narrowed it down there were Protea by Seamwork, I think that is. I'll double check and put it on. I think it's Seamwork. In fact, I'll just have a look here because sorry, Megan Nielsen. It's a Protea by Megan Nielsen. And then there was the Stylark Porter dress and the Sewing Therapy tie dress. And I've settled on the tie dress. So I've decided in my wisdom going to go rogue and not do a muslin because it's a very free sort of sizing, this dress. People have said, oh, it's very roomy, and they've sized down. It's like 2 or 3 sizes. The actual designer has put up a shorts or a reel video of her fitting herself with different sizes. She's a 4 to 6, and she's made every size from a 2 to a 10. And she actually says she prefers the 8 or 10 size. Now I'll put the sizing up, sizing chart up. I fall into 3 different sizes. But if you do a larger size, there's ties at the side. There's 2 at the front and 2 at the back. You can tie them both at the sides, or you can bring them round to the front and put them to the back. There's a V-neck and a round neck. And you can have the round at the back and the V at the front, or turn it round and have the V at the back and the round at the. So it's a pretty flexible pattern. So looking at my sizes, I'm going to just go in the middle of the range of 3 sizes that I fit into. I might go down to the smaller one. I don't know. And just have it as a loose fitting. Bring it round the front, because it looks really nice when she's tied the larger size that she's done. She's tied it at the front, and it just brings the sides in and into a point, and it looks quite nice. So it fits her whatever size she's done. Looks fine. It's just the room you get. You'll see. I'll put a link to the video in the description. You'll see how she sort of pulls the ties and shows how much room each size has got. So I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to do the longer sleeve. There's a short sort of drop shoulder sleeve, and then there's a longer sleeve which ties, I think it's sort of 3/4, and it comes into a cuff with a pleat. So I think I'm going to do the longer sleeve. And I've got some nice, I think I've got some nice fabric for it. I'll show you in a little while. So that's the tie dress. So these are the plans. So I've got to finish this off. I've also got this pouch, this sort of challenge pouch for Country Cow Designs I showed you. I've ordered the kit for making this little zip pouch. So hopefully that'll come together quite quickly. So hopefully then I've got the shirt, the Donny shirt and the all-in shirt, and the dress. I need to get the dress sort of on its way, at least pattern traced and fabric sorted out. I also this week I've been just having a look. There were some pattern offers and sales on, so I had a quick look at those. I was watching Karina Lifting Pins and Needles, and she was mentioning these new trousers that had been designed for Love Notions patterns by Whitney, who is Tomcat Stitchery. And they're in a ponte, but they're a zip front with pockets and a normal trouser, not just a pull-on stretch trousers. So I had a look at these trousers, and I thought, quite like the look of that. I think they might be suitable for the thicker ponte. The samples that I ordered from Guthrie and Garney, they might be suitable for that more heavier weight ponte, and it falls within the requirements. But they only do black, unfortunately. But I'll perhaps give that a go at some point. Maybe not like imminent, but so I ordered these. They're called the Bridget pants, trousers, Bridget pants or trousers. and there was a special offer, introductory price, because they were a new pattern. But also I did it through Karina's link, because she has an affiliate link, which earns her a little bit of cash, I suppose, compensation, commission. But also she has a code for Love Notions. So if you put that in as well, you get an extra 10% off with Karina's code. So I did that. And got the Bridget trousers. And then she did another video highlighting some itch to stitch patterns that she'd made over the months or years, because Itch to Stitch have a birthday offer on with 30% off, apart from I think one or two of the newer patterns with 20%, still got 20% off. So most of the patterns had 30% off. Now I have a few Itch to Stitch patterns, and I did like I made the upland trousers last year. So I thought I'd have a look through and just see if there was anything that took my fancy. So I just browsed through all the patterns and picked out just some staples, I would say, standard. And I got a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt and dress pattern called a kashi tee and dress. And then there's a turtleneck called a Hepburn. So I ordered that one. With going back to the t-shirt, I thought, well, I'll try their t-shirts, because I know that the trousers fit me very well without any messing about. So I thought I'll try her t-shirts as well and just see how they fit. Just on the hunt for a perfect t-shirt. Although I do like the Love Notions classic tee, which I got a little while ago. That's quite a nice one. But I thought I'll try Itch to Stitch. So I got the Hepburn turtleneck. And then I also got the Lisbon cardigan, which is it's a button-up. It's like a round neck. It's not a edge-to-edge cardigan like, say, the Harper cardigan or what's called a boyfriend cardigan type. It's like what I would call a twin set type cardigan. Buttons, round neck, buttons down the front. I'll show you on the picture anyway. And hip length. So I've got that as well. So I've just ordered them, downloaded them, so they need to be sent off to be printed anyway now. So those were the new patterns. So onto the fabrics. Now on last Sunday, there was a Sherwood's Fabrics open day down at their warehouse, which is in Ilkeston in Derbyshire, about 45-50 minutes drive from here. And I was supposed to meet up with Claire of Clarobobbins and her friend, but Claire wasn't feeling good. So she said that she was going to bow out of that visit. So I just went down. Well, Keith came down just to see if he spotted any more fabric that he liked, as he did last time. But then he sat in the car and read his Kindle book, Kobo book. So off I went inside and had a browse round. There was only one chap there. The owner wasn't there. There was just a chap. So the door was locked. So I had to ring the bell and be able to be let in. So I had a wander round. And first thing I came across was the remnants were directly in front of you. So I saw this this denim, which is a lovely blue. I don't know if it'll show up. Sort of like a cobalty type blue, and there's just 1.5 meters of that. It's 140 wide. I don't know what weight it is. It's quite a sturdy, quite a thick one. It's not enough for trousers, not enough for jeans. So it might have to be a skirt, maybe the same skirt as the corduroy one that I made the other week, or just some sort of skirt. I'll see what it's like when it's washed, but there's not enough. I don't think there's enough for trousers. Could make shorts, but there's 1.5 meters. I think a skirt would probably do with that one. So that was that one. And then I did one, I was looking, the main reason I went, well, one of the reasons I went was for some more of the twill, like the cream I got last time, which I made into my downtown jacket. few weeks ago, the cream short length downtown jacket, and they had a few colours. They didn't have much to choose from, and I think this is the same one. I did get some navy the other week from the shop where I bought my overlocker and cover stitch, because the day I went with the cover stitch open day, they had a sale on the fabrics, and I got some navy cotton twill there, and I thought that might be an Ilford. I'm toying between one or the other with the Ilford and another Ilford and another downtown jacket. So I saw this, and I did actually think of Claire when last time we went. She bought some corduroy and to make an Ilford jacket, which turned out beautiful, and it was in this teal colour. But it's not corduroy. It is the cotton drill, the same as the cream. So I think this one, I got 2 meters, and that's 150 wide. So I think this one, it's a nice weight, lovely colour. Because I did quite envy that corduroy that Claire got, but didn't want to be copying the exact fabric, so I just got this twill anyway. So I'm hoping that's going to be a nice downtown jacket. And I think with this one, I'm going to try and get away with the longer length. Well, it's 3 lengths, but because I like the top stitched back, that is only apparently you can only do that in lengths 1 and 2. Because of it going over your hips. If you want the length 3, you have to do the pleated back, and I didn't really want it that swingy. So I'm going to see if I can either just make do with getting it into length 3 with the top stitched back. Possibly I may have to grade out to the hip length, to the hip size, and see if I can get it out that way, because I would like it a little bit longer than the one I've got, but without having to do the pleat back. The other option was they do a roomy version, which you can do the top stitched in the length 3, but I didn't want the roomy. There's some difference with the cut or the drafting, the block of the standard fit and the roomy fit. But I thought I didn't really want it, because the Ilford jacket that I made first in the small just feels far too roomy for me. So I'm going to make the navy one, I'm going to make it into extra small, which is the size that I made using my faux suede, the tan coloured faux suede. I made the extra small, and that actually fits nicely. And I went out in that the other day, yesterday in fact, and it's really nice. It's quite warm as well, and that is a better fit, the extra small of the Ilford jacket. And I think I measured into a medium, actually. I can't remember now, but anyway, extra small is the way to go for me with the Ilford. And this is going to be the downtown jacket. Now, my dress fabric, which was one of the reasons I'd gone to Sherwood's as well. I was looking round and round. There's loads of viscose, and I thought it's a bit too thin for this, knowing that I was going to make the tie dress. So I wanted something with a bit of substance. And I went into the back room and I had a look. There was on the shelves, there's one particular shelf was packed so tightly. The chap came in the end he pulled things that I couldn't even shift them. They were packed that tightly on this shelf. And he came and pulled things out. But then a little while later I saw this. I'll open it out and step back so that you get the full effect. Because I thought this was really, really nice. So it's this red and burgundy with these little, it's like a patchwork, but it's like a lacy design on it. And it actually looks creased, but it's like the shadow and there's like different patterns on each section, like a very random patchwork quilt with then these blue and purple little inserts. Now I got it to the desk and then noticed something. Let me just find, if I can find what it says. It's wool, it's pure virgin wool. So there'll be no pre-washing. I'll have to, I don't know. I still persevered with it. I knew when I got to the desk that it was, you know, I thought, oh, but I really, really liked this fabric. I got 3 meters. Looking at the tie dress, I think I need between 2 and 2.5, 2 1/4 maybe. So I just thought that was really nice, and it's fairly substantial, but it's got fairly substantial, but it's got a nice drape to it. So that's another. So I'm going to probably try and steam it to try and shrink it in a little bit. It just on the website they've got some similar ones. They haven't got this one on the website, and it says dry clean only. So, but I'm not pre-washing it. I'm just going to make it up. I'll just try, as I say, I'll just try and steam prepare it using the iron, and then try and make that dress up with it. See how it comes out afterwards. I think I'll have some left, but I don't. It's not a practical fabric, obviously, for making an everyday, unless I can gentle hand wash it. But I just really liked it. It's just really, I say, it's got a nice. I think the dress will look nice in that. It needed a little bit of structure. I don't think it needed to be too drapey, but I just thought that was quite nice. The only other thing that bugged me about this man was on his own, and as I was bringing this out, and I'd got my other 2 fabrics left on the desk, this woman was in front of me, and I heard him say to her, "My maths isn't very good." Never thought anything about it. She said, "Don't worry, I'm keeping tabs." Never thought anything about it. And so I went round, and again he said, "My maths is hopeless." And I said, "Oh, just join the club, because mine is not good either." But Keith is quite good, and he was stood right next to me. He'd been out and he'd been back in again to go to the loo, and he was waiting because I was nearly done. And so he added it all up, and I'd got enough cash, and I paid, because you get an extra 10% for cash, apart from on the remnants. They didn't do the extra on the remnants. So he'd added it all up, and I just paid the money. And then we went out and got in the car, and Keith said, "Has he overcharged you for that?" And I went, "I don't know, no good asking me." He said, "I'm sure that was wrong." And I said, "Well, why didn't you say something when we were in there?" Anyway, I got out, I went back in, and he was trying to work it out. Now, I'd never noticed last time we went in June. They don't actually have you'd think that they would have sort of a duplicate book and write down what you've ordered and then give you a copy, and then they've got a record of what they've sold. They were just scribbling it on pieces of paper. And then when I went back in, he actually had to go and look in the bin to find the piece of paper that he'd written my calculations on. And so he came out, and then he decided to get a calculator. Well, I'm sure there was a calculator. I just don't know why he didn't do it, because if I have to add anything, I would just get a calculator. There's no chance of me doing anything other than very simple calculations in my head. Hopeless. So he then did that, and then I think Keith was still outside. Yeah, he stayed in the car. And so I said, well, this was £18 a metre, the wool. And and I think there's some on the website. I think they're around about 30. So I think they're about half price. There was all the prices were all on the wall, and I said, well, it's £18, and he added it all up again. And I said, well, you've charged me that, and I got my calculator out then and on the phone and said it should be this, and then the twill was correct and the denim was correct. And then this woman appeared, who I think is one of the, I don't know whether she's one of the owners, but she just came running in late and said, oh, what's the problem? And we were talking about it. And she just added it up and said, oh, yeah, that's wrong. I got £18 back. It overcharged me by £18. Whether this, oh, my maths is bad is a bit of a ploy to, I don't know. Don't know, anyway, or whether he's genuinely, but if you were so rubbish at maths, you would just use a calculator and say, oh, 18 times 3, and I won't, no idea. Anyway, 50, no, go on, I'm not even going to try. So, yeah, so I was a bit disappointed in that, but I got my £18 back, so she sorted it out. Very strange, but anyway. So there we go. So I got my dress fabric, which is going to be brought up the list for a little bit. So yeah, pure wool, whatever was I thinking. So anyway, we shall see how that all turns out. But we've got till the due is the middle of, it's about a month, middle of November. So it's getting close now because we've got the menu to choose from. So it is sort of, it's getting a bit more that I need to get going with it. So anyway, I think that's all me done this week. We've got over half an hour. So I think that's enough to be going on with. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and do give me a like. And I'm very pleased to report that I've actually hit 500 subscribers this week. So that's very nice. So thank you very much if you have subscribed. If you haven't, it would be lovely if you could and help me to grow even bigger and help the channel to reach other people looking for sewing information. And with that, I'll just say I hope you have a lovely week and get some nice sewing done. And take care, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video. So bye for now.